Okay, so let's cover our last tool website, Flipside Crypto. So Flipside Crypto is a data provider, and what that means is they kind of make the blockchain data that you saw before in Etherscan kind of more friendly for analysts to work with. So what they do is they kind of turn the blockchain data into like SQL queryable. If you've ever heard of SQL, that's structured query language. So they make it possible for you to ask for blockchain data in kind of more traditional language here, SQL. Um, Flip side of crypto's kind of business model is that they work with a community of analysts. So you can join the community, join their Discord if you want to. They also work with protocols to kind of understand like what their desires are, their business intelligence, and kind of connect the dots, right? So they get the community of analysts and they get the protocol to kind of work together to do bounties so that they can, just have more information about protocols and applications, have more interest from the analytics space. A lot of like layer one blockchains like Solana and stuff, have data available here for people who aren't that interested in Ethereum. Lots of potential blockchains to analyze. We're going to kind of skip ahead. Not really going to go over their main API with the StreamDK, but kind of just walk through a query and what that looks like. So this is a fresh page. Just starting at the top, you'll notice again, I'm logged in. You'll notice that you can make a collection and query your dashboards. We'll get dashboards in the last section. This is a fresh query. It doesn't refresh, it's an API button. Let's kind of just go ahead and grab a little bit of data just to look at what it looks like. So I'm going to grab the Ethereum data. They have a core data set, and they have a lot of tables. They have labels for like, is this a contract? Is this a central exchange address? Like, what is this address, right? That's always important for filtering things out. They have swaps with like Uniswap, swapping out ETH and USDC like we talked about before. Transferring ETH, NFT mints, NFT sales. They have information about blocks. Let's go to the lowest level. Let's get information about transactions really quick. So they have a preview button. I click the preview button. And I'm zoomed in a lot here to make sure it's clear for you all to see. A little of this should feel familiar. Block number. We saw some block numbers. This is a preview, so it's not in any specific order right now, but it's a block number. There's a lot of transactions in this block. The transaction has a unique identifier called the hash of the block. Oh, sorry, hash of transaction hash. If you keep going, there's all kinds of other factors involved. So this is a little ugly way of zooming across, but we can kind of see the from address, the to address. So someone initiates the transaction. They're sending this person some ETH. Just keep going to the side. There's a transaction fee associated with that, and we'll talk about gas and stuff later. So let's start simple. Let's just go ahead and do a quick query of like what my transactions are. So opening up my MetaMask again and copying my address. This is my address, put a little quote marks about it. If you're not going to learn SQL, it's okay. Just stick with it for now, just to watch what's going on. You'll also notice these are all lowercase, so I need to lowercase these. Again, I know what I'm typing. You would otherwise just Google it. So let's just say I want to get some transactions where the from address equals my address. So I'm kind of writing this query backward a little bit, and it comes from, let's just grab this table. There's a nice button for that. And let's get kind of the top part of the query, which is to select what we want. So I want to get all my transactions. So let's get let's get the date of my transactions for fun, the timestamp, the transaction hash, so I could take this hash and actually go to Etherscan and get kind of the same details you're seeing here. And let's get the from address just to confirm it's me. Let's get the to address to know who I was sending things to. And then you might notice some of these are 0. Some of these ETH values are 0. That's because you might be interacting with another coin, like you saw me do USDC and DAI in the last videos. Those don't involve transferring ETH. You pay ETH for gas, but you don't have to send ETH for everything. You just pay ETH for gas. So let's take the thing that's in every single transaction, the transaction fee, and let's keep that one too. So let's see, this shouldn't take too long. And then also, just because I'm going to care about this a little bit, I'm going to want to know the order of my transactions. Let's go ahead and order it by block timestamp ascending. So my first transaction ever will be up top, and then at the bottom will be my most recent transaction. So let's see how long this takes. So again, if you don't know SQL, that's okay. There's a lot of quick way so you can kind of like pick up basics, but this is the most basic thing. Select some columns from a table, filter it accordingly, and order it. You don't even have to order, you can order it later, but it's nice to order it for consistency purposes. So my first transaction ever was July. Oh wow, 2 years ago, yesterday. That's crazy. Here's my hash from it. What did I do? Let's see. I sent something to somebody and I paid this much money for it. So I can check Etherscan like we learned earlier about to actually read more details on this hash. But here we go. So it's not titled, so let's go ahead and title it Charlie Marketplace transaction history. Let's go ahead and make it refresh every day, and the reason for that is we're going to see new transactions every single day. And now if we click this API link, don't worry too much what this is. This is just a URL, a website that every day it'll change, and this is JSON, JavaScript Object Notation, just so that people can kind of pull this data into R, Python, whatever programming language, React, JavaScript, whatever, so they can do analysis on this stuff. So yeah, we'll cover a little bit more on the flip side in the last section, but I just wanted to show you really quick this is possible. Now we have a URL that we can get this data every day, and we can also download this data directly right here to CSV, Excel formats, and things like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on back to Blockspace a little bit, and we'll come back to this later.